What's going on, everybody? I am Josh, but we're all George. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. This is for a new episode. As we all know, George does not stream on Friday nights, but I am here to fill in a gap and give you guys a little bit different taste than you typically get on the Cryptos Are Us channel. So buckle in because we're going to dive through some things. Tonight, we're talking about Sui, what makes Sui great, and why we should be paying attention to the Sui blockchain for memes coming up in this year. Not only that, though, but what the heck happened to Bitcoin today? Absolutely ridiculous. Randomly throughout the middle of the day, Bitcoin just dumped. And why did that happen? I'm going to fill you in. But before that, most importantly, I want to give you a little bit of insight about who I am and why I'm here. I have spent the last 5.5 years, working very closely with George. I handle many different things around Cryptos Are Us. I wear many different hats, and I've basically worn them all in the past 5.5 years working for Cryptos Are Us. So I also host on numerous channels for George, and now I'm here on Cryptos Are Us. So if you, I didn't look, I'm already screwing up. I didn't share my screen yet. So let me go ahead and do that. As you can see, though, one of the main channels that I am a host on for Cryptos Are Us is Alpha First. It used to be Cryptos Are Us Plus, and in the past 3 months or so, we changed it to Alpha First, and it's been a great ride. So yes, we're all still George. I see it here, and no, George didn't have plastic surgery, but I'm still George too. I'm telling you. I promise you. Just bear with me. I'm also George. We're all George. But Alpha First is a different place. It used to be Cryptos Are Us Plus, and it's got just different content than you can find here on Cryptos Are Us. So we've got new content that's coming up very soon. I strongly suggest that you find your way over to it and follow the channel. But not only that, on Fridays, you'll find me here for now on at 7 p.m. Central Time. But on Wednesdays, you can also find me there doing the same show on Alpha First. Outside of that, though, we also do have, of course, the Alpha First Twitter channel, or X account, formerly Twitter. But that's been growing by leaps and bounds, and we're posting breaking content there every day, all day, about upcoming projects that we're already following, and trying to keep you in the loop so you've got your finger on the pulse so that you know what to do in the crypto space as we're going through this bull market. But that's not all I do. I'm telling you, I wear a lot of hats, and it doesn't stop there. And it doesn't stop here either. But we also have Drivers Only. This is another channel that I'm a host on for George, and we get to review cars, go fast, strap in, because that's what we're doing for this stream. So if you want to see more of that, you can always go over there and check it out. The link is in the description. It's a lot of fun. It's obviously got nothing to do with crypto, but that's another place you can find me. Outside of that, though, I am a big crypto enthusiast. I've got a big background in tech. I spent 9 years as a sysadmin doing, sysadmin things. But outside of that, doing a lot of research into technology and blockchain technology. I was in crypto, introduced to crypto early 2013. I actually bought many Bitcoins back then. Unfortunately, like many other people in the space, I sold them and bought back in and mined for a little while. So I've been around the block for a long time. But like I said, I have been spending the last 5.5 years with George hand in hand, working on everything that has to do with Cryptos Are Us. If you have seen anything come out on Cryptos Are Us, I almost guarantee you I had a play in it. So I'm not new to the block or anything like that. I've been around the scene, but more than anything, I know Cryptos Are Us like the back of my hand. And I'm here to help you learn a different side of things in the crypto atmosphere that maybe you've been interested in, maybe you haven't dove into, but hey, it's the beginning of the bull run for 2025. Things are starting to pick up again. Regulations coming in strong. It's looking absolutely amazing for 2025. And I'm here to help you get another leg up on the competition so that you can hopefully retire a millionaire. But let's move into I'm going to check out the we got George in the chat. Of course, why wouldn't we? I have hair finally. I do have some nice long locks. But thank you, George, for tuning in. I hope that you are proud. I guess we'll say that much. But the robe it's silky. It's pretty silk. Yeah, it's real silk. Let's go with that. I'm happy with that. But let's dive into some things because obviously you guys want to know what the heck happened today in the Bitcoin market. Why did Bitcoin fall, but alts didn't? And it's actually a pretty simple answer. You might be surprised. There's a lot of things going on in the space as a whole. And one of those are regulations, but Trump just came into office. And what is he talking about currently? He's talking about putting major tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. But it goes a bit further than that, but those tariffs haven't been confirmed yet. Currently, we're talking about 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico and 10% tariffs on China. This is all going to start tomorrow. February 1st is when this is going to go in play. And this has had a big impact on Bitcoin and ultimately the whole traditional finance market as a whole. The reason for that is because obviously from an economic standpoint, tariffs will raise prices on some things, and Wall Street reacts very heavily to that. This is something that Trump is trying to do to strengthen the dollar, strengthen our economy in the United States, and maybe we'll see that actually happen. But it kind of sent some panic through Wall Street. And this isn't surprising that it dragged Bitcoin down with it. You know, as we know now, we've got many different Bitcoin ETFs. Ultimately, BlackRock is commanding the space with nearly 2.5% of the supply. I think it's actually like 2.7% of the supply currently. So traditional finance traders in the ETF market, they are going to react off of all this news how they would with their typical stocks and everything like that. That's why we see this major correlation happening with the S&P 500 for Bitcoin. Ever since Trump was elected, we have seen a higher correlation with the S&P 500 than we have in like recent years. I'm sorry. I'm like playing multiple things over here. It's driving me crazy. But this correlation in past, you know, like towards the end of 2024, it started to wane. You know, a lot of 2024, it wasn't totally there. But as the Bitcoin market started to pick back up, we saw this correlation increase again. And what that means is when the typical market starts to drop, we're going to see Bitcoin fall with that. And we can show it right here by looking at the S&P 500 compared to Bitcoin, right? They're both trading pretty sideways. Bitcoin started to come up really nicely during the start of the day here. After the market opened, it kind of like popped, and then it popped hard. And it popped up to like 106,000. We thought maybe we'd see an all-time high today. You never know. And then it traded sideways throughout the rest of the day. We had some options expirations. Obviously, that impacted Bitcoin a bit too. But then the tariff confirmation news came out. And what did that do? Look, you can see right here. The news comes out and it dumps the S&P 500, and Bitcoin reacts twice as hard to that news because you have the traditional ETF traders that just dump it. They escape. They're looking for safe haven, right? Bitcoin is considered by the traditional market a risk on asset. So what do? They get out of risk. They go to something safe. Obviously, we all know that Bitcoin is the safest asset and it is the future, but they're still learning that. Hopefully they'll realize it soon. But like I said, we see it just drag down with it. Obviously, the S&P 500 only dropped 0.5%, but Bitcoin ended up dropping nearly 3% off that news. But this is a short-term thing. This is called panic. This is what happens. Wall Street reacts. They don't think. A lot of Wall Street actually trades based off of algorithms. They see news come through, and they basically just have keywords that they're searching for. Their algorithm picks it up, and they sell or they buy. And that's exactly what we saw today. That's why these drops happen the exact same time, but it's all short term. We're still over 100K also. Like, really, is it that much of a drop? I'm not sweating. I'm very happy with Bitcoin's at, and I think it's going to go much, much higher. Obviously, though, because Bitcoin did drop twice as hard as the S&P 500, of course, there's a reason for that as well. You know, Bitcoin is heavily traded by leverage. That's how the majority of moves are made in Bitcoin. I'm personally not a leverage trader. I prefer to buy and hold. DCA, dollar cost average. That's my method. That's what I like. I don't like to sweat about candles or anything like that. I just like to buy and hold. But when this happened, we saw a large amount, and it's not like we've seen before. Trust me, this is nowhere near as bad. But we did see 120 million of longs wrecked when that news came out. And that creates a cascading effect that ultimately ends up impacting Bitcoin, right? Like it just pushes it's called a long squeeze. You know, you're cascading, liquidating longs, and that impacts Bitcoin negatively. But we can have a short squeeze next, right? We wicked down to the bottom of the channel. We cleared out some leverage trades. Now we're ready to go higher. The ETF markets are not trading on the weekend. It's lower volume, easier to move the price. Maybe we can see a good recovery. I think that over the next month, especially, that we're going to see a lot of strength within Bitcoin, because all of this news that's coming out is extremely strong for Bitcoin. It's only going to continue getting better. And I just love watching it. We've got nearly 16 states now that are looking to put Bitcoin into the strategic reserve. Not only that, though, we've got numerous different countries that are getting into the Bitcoin reserve as well, or just an all-encompassing crypto reserve. And that's amazing. The entire space is being seen as an actual asset that traditional markets want to invest in. And what's better than that? We've said this is coming forever. Unfortunately, though, it comes with some fallbacks like that correlation, but that too will pass and we'll be off to the higher highs in no time, I swear. But there are some other things I do want to get into because I want to show you some other things that I'm into personally, because you've got to get to know me too. It's my first time on Cryptos R Us, so thanks for hanging out with me. But I am actually a degenerate. I'm not going to lie. I love my Bitcoin. I really do. I love my alts. I really do. But more than anything, I love to get down and dirty in some degeneracy. We're talking like small cap memes, some AI projects, AI agents, just meme coins in general. I'm about it all. I like to get into the hype. I like to follow the trends. I like to spot them. And I've spotted a lot of them. Actually, a lot of them George has brought to you on Cryptos R Us. So some of my favorites, though, you may not have heard about. Well, you've definitely heard about them, but not from me anyways, unless you've been watching Alpha First. But some of my favorites in recent times, obviously, AIXBT is absolutely amazing. It's been around for about 6-7 months now, but not as a token. Before it was just an AI agent. It was like, what's crazy, what really blows my mind is Elon bought Twitter and he's like, I'm going to clear out all the bots. But now Twitter's all about the bots. Let's get all the automated bots and the AI agents on it. And AIXBT was one of the first ones. And what does AIXBT do? AIXBT, say that 10 times fast. What does it do? It actually scours, it has a large list of influencers and crypto projects that it follows, and it watches for breaking news and trends, and it feeds it out to you. And it'll actually respond to you as well. But like late November, early December, it actually decided to come out with a token. And they launched a token. I was talking about AIXBT on Alpha First, pre the token, and the token came out, and it just absolutely boomed in a very short amount of time. We're talking like 2 months, a month and a half. It nearly cracked 800 million. It just barely did. And now it's coming down a little bit. But look, after a run like that, we're talking about from November 5th to January 15th. Like that's a very short amount of time we're talking about. It accrued almost $800 million market cap. It's got to take a little bit of a breather, of course. AI agents, the bubble got a little bit popped because of DeepSeek. And obviously now we all know that DeepSeek was actually a deep fake because they're leaking data everywhere. And not only that, they're kind of fibbing about some things. It's being proved, right? Their data is not matching up. They're using data from 3 years ago. It's not real. So these AI projects that are actually providing real value, I do believe will come back. I think that AIXBT is at like a support level right now because it has traded sideways a little bit here before in the past. And hopefully we'll see a nice bounce from here soon. But I really like AIXBT, been following it for a long time. I think it's going to be really strong this year. But that's just one of them that I really like. Another one that let's see, I thought I had it pulled up, but I'll just pull it up here. Or wait, Where'd it go? Yeah, I'll just pull it up here. We're talking about ticker Bitcoin. Ticker Bitcoin is another one that I actually found extremely early. When I'm talking extremely early, I mean very early. This came across my desk when it was 800K market cap, and I've been following it ever since. I actually know I'm friends with the CEO or the lead dev of Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu, and I've hung out with them numerous times. They have a ton in store. They're finally starting to get on major exchanges. Their ticker is literally Bitcoin. It's not BTC. It's literally Bitcoin. And you guys are killing me in chat, though. George does have hair. Let's be honest. George does have hair, but I've got a little bit more. But ticker Bitcoin's got a lot going on for them. They've been very strong. Recently, they've started to get listed on tier 1 exchanges. And that was a big struggle for them because they actually were their ticker's Bitcoin. So exchanges didn't want to list them. They were trying to list them as ticker Harry and all sorts of other stuff. And that just doesn't jive. But that's not all they have coming. They actually have more coming. They're launching a layer 1 on Berachain, which is launching their token and going fully public with their chain in like the next month. And that's going to be huge because it's not going to be your typical chain. It's going to be a chain for degens, and not degens just to like trade meme coins or anything like that. I'm talking degenerate activities, like some form of gambling and things like that, right? There's many things that will go on there to keep people engaged. And most importantly, ticker Bitcoin will be the gas token. So I've been following this for a long time. I have more light on the show numerous times. I've hung out with him a ton. He actually also fought in the IFC as well. So we've been together quite a bit, and I'm really confident in this project. I love it. One of the main reasons too that this project's going to do so well is it is a cult leader, like a complete cult leader. It was the first meme coin that had a real cult. Now, cults in crypto are not a bad thing when it comes to meme coins, especially because it's more so, instead of like a bad stigma cult, it means like you've got a very tight-knit group of people that are passionate and ambitious about the project that they're behind. So all of these people have, ticker Bitcoin figures, or Sprotos is what they call them, as their, profile pictures and everything like that. It's all they talk about. They post videos every day of them going Bitcoin. So it's just nonstop. And that is the passion that creates $1 billion coin. So I'm expecting to see that from ticker Bitcoin this year, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, don't sleep on ticker Bitcoin. They're coming down to a very important level, and I'm expecting an absolutely insane bounce from it, especially after they go live on Berachain with their own L1. But I do have an absolute favorite. As you may see all the way up there, there is a big red banner, and that's because I absolutely love the guys over at Big Red. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge supporter. And sorry, just reading chat. But I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge supporter of Big Red, and they have a ton of things going on as well. Now, Big Red actually started out as a meme coin, but they're no longer a meme coin. I don't call them a meme coin anymore. In 2025, all of the hype is about RWAs, DPIN, and AI. And what did Big Red do? They found a way to enter the RWA space in a way that nobody else has. And Big Red, for those of you that don't know, because I know that we have a ton of people that are not familiar with Big Red as it currently is, Big Red actually owns horses. They have their own stable, and they own horses that race in the legitimate professional circuit for horse racing. So currently they have standard bred horses, and this is like your chariot racing. Like think like your ancient, like whatever. Yeah, your ancient Romans in the Colosseum, they've got the horse and the chariots and they're fighting and everything. There's no fighting except for to win first, which they will end up doing because currently they have over $1.5 million in horses that they own that will be racing every single month this year underneath the pro circuit for horse racing. So it's not your virtual horse racing that we used to be able to do in 2021. There was all those projects. You can build a horse and upgrade it and race other people. No, it's not that. We're talking about legitimate horses. Like racing at some of the biggest stadiums in the country. We're talking Little Brown Jug, Yonkers, Midway, like the top of the top, the creme de la creme, right? And they actually just last week bought another horse. So now they've got the new horse, Beantown Babe. These horses have the most ridiculous names I've ever heard. Trust me, they don't get better. Like there's some crazy ones out there. Like last week they were racing against a horse called Mac and Cheese. I don't know. But they just got Beantown Babe. And Beantown Babe's a 5-year-old mare. As you can see, this is a legitimate horse racing activity. Like they're, after we skip through some stuff, I guess it's not going to show. But this video is actually from when Beantown Babe didn't win first. And so that's a very promising thing for Big Red. Now, this is an RWA project. So there are NFT holders that actually get payouts based on the races. But it goes farther than that because the payouts from the races are split. You know, obviously the stable has to keep some, the project keeps some, and then some goes back to the community and those NFT holders. But part of what Big Red actually keeps, they do buybacks into the chart and burn those tokens, which is absolutely incredible for the project. And it's going to get even better when we're talking about 15, 20 horses racing. And it's going, the numbers are going to increase because currently they have, I think off the top of my head without checking, they have 5 horses, but next week, I've seen it with my own eyes. They are literally adding another horse early next week. So keep your eyes peeled for that because it's going to be big. But that's not it. There's actually a huge announcement that's coming. And I'm not allowed to share it all. I can give some tips. I can give some hints, but it's absolutely massive. I've got all the news myself. I'm just not allowed to release it yet. So they're actually partnering up with a project that's been around for quite a long time. And this project has breached $1 billion market cap numerous times. And this project wants to own a horse and wants to be involved in this ecosystem. So Big Red is working with them to purchase more horses so that they can be involved. And this project doesn't even want the winnings. That's what's crazy about it. Obviously, Big Red will get their cut and everything that I talked about will still happen. But their winnings, they're just going to donate. So I'm going to give you some hints. This is a meme coin. It used to be in the top 100, and it has broken $1 billion market cap, and it sat there for a few days, but it nearly broke $1 billion market cap 3 times. So I'll let you figure that out on your own. This is going to be announced really soon. And it's going to be absolutely massive. This is a lot of different eyes on Big Red. Big Red, guys, is still considered a low cap project. It's only $4.15 million with a thick locked liquidity pool. They've got a ton of holders. And look, they're pumping right now, too, as we're talking. But there's a lot coming, even more coming. And it's going to be absolutely massive. I'm keeping my eyes on this project every single week. They have their horsing every time they race. They have watch parties and they hold it in the Telegram. Anybody can go in there and they can talk about it. They can ask questions and learn more. So if you want to learn more, feel free to go. Well, they're not pumping because I'm on George's channel. They were pumping before I came on. Trust me. Like if you look, they were pumping before. But there's a lot going on. So just continue to watch it. And that is one thing I will say. Like, you know, typically on Alpha First, you'll find me talking about a lot smaller projects, right? But when I come here, I'm going to give you a little bit bigger projects and that have some more promise and stuff like that. If you want the real degeneracy, if you want the chance for those 1000x gains, you're going to have to go follow me over on Alpha First so that we can dig into the pure degeneracy that I love to get into. We do have a couple super chats though, so let me check these out. Chester threw a super chat. Big Red Telegram is a blast on race day. It really is. And then we got Crypto Kid Marketing. Big Red appreciates Dirty Degens, Josh, and George for their unwavering support and the energy they bring to the space. Your dedication is pushing the culture forward. Doesn't go unnoticed. We are all George. We all really are. And then Dora asks, how do you get some Big Red? It's quite simple. So they are on Avalanche. They're a premier up-and-coming RWA play on Avalanche. And so you have to go to Trader Joe. Otherwise, they are also on MEXC. However, there are more exchange coming this year as well. So there's Floors, Trader Joe, or MEXC. Also, if you go to their Twitter, I don't think I actually put it in the description of this video, but after a stream, I will put it in the description of the video. Otherwise, our mod will drop it in the chat here so that you can find it first there. But I'll drop it into the description later as well. But to build onto that, Beantown Babe does also have a race on Wednesday next week on the 5th. And like I said, there will be a watch party and everything like that that you can go watch and partake and check it out for yourself. It's a good time. But what I really want to, oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. What I really want to talk about though today is Sui, and why Sui is the up and coming premier chain, especially if you're trying to chase those 1000x gains on meme coins. Not only meme coins though, Sui itself is a phenomenal option when it comes to blockchains. Or, everybody's calling Sui the Solana killer or the Solana of 2025. And it's for a really good reason. One of those reasons is evident. Just a couple days ago, Sui was added to the most popular, arguably, wallet in crypto right now, which is Phantom. So now you can have Solana, you can have Bitcoin, you can have Ethereum, you can have Polygon, you can have Sui, all on Phantom. And Phantom just went live, I think, yesterday, actually. It was rolled out to my devices a couple weeks ago, but it's fully live for everybody on Phantom today. So that's going to bring a ton of people into the Sui ecosystem, because a lot of people don't want to get more wallets, right? Like I personally have like 90 different seed phrases. It gets ridiculous, right? But what if you can manage all of your crypto under one address? And that is what Phantom is helping solve. They're trying to make it easy and accessible for everybody. And that is really important for adoption on these different chains. And that's why that's going to help onboard a lot of people onto Sui. We just saw the Trump meme launch, and they're saying that basically 1 in 7 Americans bought that token. Now, I don't truly believe those numbers, but that's a lot of people that learned how to use Phantom and buy that token. So if they have Phantom already, switching over to Sui, it's not going to be hard. And Sui is a phenomenal chain to transact on. There's a ton of things for it. It's incredibly easy. It's an absolute pleasure to use. I love using Sui. And one of those reasons why is the finality time on Sui. When you transact on it, you don't even realize you transact on it. You make a decision and it just happens. Like by the time you can refresh the wallet, your tokens are there. We're talking about under a half a second, they're talking about to complete a transaction. Not only that, they're claiming speeds up to 125,000 transactions a second, which is just mind-blowing. Their plans are to scale up to 250,000 transactions a second. Now, they're able to do this because they're actually a parallel blockchain, not your typical EVM standard blockchain. So they're completing numerous transactions at a time instead of one by one. Basically, in simplicity, that's what that means. Now, Sui's been gaining a ton of traction in numerous ways, though, and you can see that by their metrics. So their TVL, their volume, and not only that, their stablecoin growth on Sui has absolutely been exploding. And it's been exploding more than any other chain in the space right now. And that's why it makes it a prime target for where we're going to move next. Currently, all the hype has been on Solana. That's what everybody wants to trade on, right? And now Phantom is making it easy for those Solana traders to leave Jeet Central and move over to Sui, where everything's still fresh. It's just getting started and people are actually holding. So we're seeing that in 2024, everything was quite low, right? Like these numbers weren't very high. Obviously, we had stablecoin market cap was there, but people were not there to transact. But come the end of 2024 and into 2025, these numbers are just absolutely exploding. The users are there, the liquidity is there, and now the volume is following. And the prices and the tokens aren't quite there yet. So we can still be early to this chain and we can make plays so that hopefully we can chase those 1000Xs. But there are already some promising plays to where we're not going into the sub 1 million market cap projects, right? But we can see that also if we look at the daily active accounts and the daily active transactions. Like I said, at the end of 2024, we're seeing these numbers just start to pick up, and now we're getting a steady baseline, right? We're getting around 500,000 to 750,000 transactions a day, which is absolutely fantastic. And they're actually out transacting Ethereum right now, if you compare the two. So that's how you can tell the hype is starting to build up and they're coming over to Sui, which is what we want to see if that's where we're going to move to make money. When it comes to meme coins, especially, you follow the trend. You don't fight the trend and you just go with it. You follow the money. If they're all moving to Sui, we go to Sui. If they're all moving somewhere else, all right, let's go there. But there are a different couple of ways that you need, or there's a couple different things that you need to do before you decide to start trading on Sui. Obviously, if you want to trade in crypto and if you want to get into these meme coins, what you need is you need a wallet, because we're not trying to buy these tokens once they hit the exchange. We want to get them before they hit the exchange. That's what the goal is with meme coins. We want to pick the winners that we're going to see hit the exchanges. And there's ways that we find those, but we need a way to buy those. So my favorite way before the Phantom wallet is the Sui wallet. I've actually got a short on Alpha First that you can go watch about how to set up the Sui wallet and bridge over to Sui in under 60 seconds. It's incredibly fast. It's so fast I could do it in a short. So in under 60 seconds, you can do it all. So the Sui wallet is absolutely great. It's very good. I've been using it for like 8 months or so. It's lightning fast. It blows MetaMask out of the water. Like, MetaMask is not even a discussion at this point. But of course, we also do have Phantom. Phantom just yesterday released the ability for everybody that has a Phantom wallet to transact on Sui. So that's absolutely massive. It makes it very simple. I've actually got one right here. On Alpha First, we do have a show wallet that we play with, and we buy different tokens. So I've got our show wallet right here for Solana. We actually have like 5 different wallets because I trade all over the place. Like I said, we follow the money. But if we want to receive, we do get the option to receive some Sui here. So I'll actually walk you guys through bridging some Sui over as well. And actually, why don't we go ahead and maybe we won't do that. We won't. Yeah, we'll bridge. Why not? But let's start with that. So my favorite place to bridge, last time I checked, they were going to add Sui. Let's hope they did now. I like to use Rubik.exchange. And this is a bridging platform. And do they have Sui on here yet? They don't. So that's unfortunate. But I do have a bridge. Let me pull it up. Other than that, though, any questions? I love interacting with the chat. I love answering questions. I love pulling up projects. I'm not opposed to anything. So if you have questions about anything, even if it doesn't have to do with what I'm talking about right now, I will absolutely answer them. It's one of my favorite things about doing these live streams. It's actually why I don't do recorded videos, because I would rather talk to you guys live. But let me pull up this bridge here. So we're going to go to, it's suilend.fi/bridge. And then I'll connect our wallet. We're going to connect the Phantom wallet because we have some Solana in there that I want to bridge over. Going to connect the wallet. And then we're going to pick Sol. We're going to pick Sol. We're going to move over to Sui. And you have to take Wrap Sui or Wrap Sol, which is unfortunate. But that's okay. All I have to do then is I go into my phone, go to Coinbase, and I grab 10 cents of Sui and I send it over. And that's plenty for a lot of transfers on Sui. It's incredibly cheap to transact on Sui. And that's one of the reasons why it's great to transact on. But let's move. Let's see. How does this connect our source wallet? Phantom. Select destination wallet. Again, Phantom. And then we're going to move 0.2 Sol. It's going to take 13 seconds, it says. So very simple. Need more gas on Sui. We do need some gas on Sui because we don't have any. So we're going to get some gas as well. Confirm the transaction. It'll pop up here for me to confirm. I confirm it. Camera Wall asks, I only use my phone. How do I buy Sui memes in the app? the exact same way I'm doing. So Phantom has a browser, and you would go to Sui Lend on the browser within Phantom, and you would do exactly what I'm doing, and you would have the same result except just from your phone, which is great. So it's very simple, very fast, and easy to do. So there we go. Our transaction's complete. If we go back to our Sui wallet or our Phantom wallet, let's find our Sui. Did not land yet. It should land soon. Let's check the transactions. It has. It says it's done. This is actually my first time bridging using the Phantom wallet, so it might be a little screwy. Well, Phantom, you gotta get your stuff together because oh, there we go. There's our Sui. However, oh, so there's our Sui, and then we should have there's our Wrap Soul. So now what we can do, we can take this Wrap Soul on Sui, and I want to swap this Wrap Soul, all of it, into Sui. And that's going to go wrong. So here's the next most important part. You have to have a DEX that you're going to trade on in order to transact on Sui, obviously, right? You've got to have somewhere that you're going to do these trades. So we're going to connect our Phantom wallet. I prefer Cetus, CETUS.zone. This is the major, actually, if we go back to DeFi Llama, we can see here the top protocols within Sui. And Cetus is the largest DEX on Sui with 201 million TVL. So it's your thicker liquidity. You're going to have the best trades. You're not going to have a huge price impact. And it's going to be your best result. So Cetus is where it's at. It's not the first DEX on Sui. Actually, the first DEX is all the way down here at Turbo. They only have 17 million TVL. They don't have a lot of projects that launch on there anymore. You want to go to Cetus, and that's also what what Phantom uses when you're transacting or doing built-in swaps through the Phantom app. But now that we're on Cetus, we have our wallet connected. I'm going to swap here, and I'm going to switch over to our Wrap Soul, and I'm going to switch over to Sui because I want to change that Wrap Soul into Sui so that we can actually use that to buy tokens. So now I can just confirm that swap. No problem. Confirm it in the wallet over here. And like I said, it's lightning fast. There we go. Done. And our swap is successful. And now we have our Solana, and we've got our $46 in Sui that we just bridged over. And that means now we can get into buying some tokens. So we're on Dex Screener. Daniel Garf says, woof, totally not confused. Well, Daniel, if you have any questions, just let me know. And I'm more than happy to help clear up any confusion that you may have. Camera Wall says, can't you just send Sui from an exchange to your Phantom Wall and then swap through Cetus? The bridging thing always throws me off. Absolutely, you can do that. There's no reason why you can't. But if we want to play with money that we already have on Phantom or on another wallet or anything like that, this is how we'd go about it. To do it that way, it would be very simple. I'd go to Coinbase, I'd buy my Sui, I would go over to receive here, I would find the Sui address. I can either use the QR code or I can just copy the address and put it in my phone and send the Sui that way. And it's just as fast. So it's very simple, very easy. No difference there, but bridging is very easy. I like to work with house money. That's my idea. I like to make money on meme coins, pull out my initial, and that's my play money, right? Because that's my free money. I've already made the profit. I've already 2, 3, 4x'd, and I pull out my initial, and then I'm going to take that and I'm going to go play with it elsewhere. So if I made a few $100s on Solana, I'm going to take those few $100s, pull out my initial, and then I'm going to bridge that over to Sui by doing with what I just did, and we're off to the races. And now we're on Dex Screener though, because currently Dex tools and a lot of different screening platforms don't actually track Sui. That's how new they are. We're early. So we're in, if you go to Deck Screener Home, you load into this, and it's got all the different chains on here and everything. But on the left-hand side, we can just select Sui. That's what we're looking at today. I'm actually going to sort this by market cap, and I'm going to take down Camera Wall's comment. But I'm going to sort it by market cap, and we're going to look at the tokens here. So Lofi is actually the biggest project on Sui right now when it comes to meme coins, and they're over 100 million now. They've had an amazing day. We'll talk about them. But there's also Hippo, there's Stacks, there's AXOL, there's all these different projects. We're only looking at what's on Sui right now. So you can click into these, you can get the contract address and everything like that. But the first one I do want to talk about is indeed Lofi. And Lofi came out of absolutely nowhere. HeyX says Lofi is a Cabal token. It actually is. It's not necessarily a Cabal token, but it's a token with large financial backing. If we zoom out, go look at the daily, look, it came out of nowhere and it just launched absolutely huge. And it's been down a bit now ever since then. It peaked, everybody took their money, and now it's finally coming back up again. It turned into like it took over the top spot ultimately. But Lofi's not going anywhere because a lot of people hold Lofi, and a lot of people are paying attention to it. And like you said, Lofi is a Cabal token. That means there's a lot of money behind it. There's a lot of influencers involved. So it's going to continue to come up, and it's going to continue to gain. That's why we're seeing nearly 30%. That's why we're seeing nearly 30% gains today on the token. And they've got great engagement on Twitter. They've got a large number of holders. Like this account has 30,000 followers. They get fantastic impressions. If we look at this project from January 16th, we're talking about 213,000 impressions. When it comes to meme coins, it's mind share. It's what people are paying attention to and talking about. If nobody's paying attention to it, nobody's talking about it, the number's not going to go up. And ultimately, that's what we want when we're looking at meme coins, is number go up. And that's why Lofi is something to definitely pay attention to right now. Unfortunately, when I wanted to bring them up today, they were down here around like 60 million, and they've just been running all day long. So something to keep your eyes on. This could very well go back up into the towards all-time high. It's working its way up there, but of course, do your own research. There is large concentrated supply with Lofi. It's not my favorite token on Sui, but it's its main runner right now. So when we're talking about following the money, that's what we're doing. We're following the money, and that's why Lofi is great. Another one that came out of absolutely nowhere is Hippo, and Hippo did not have a good start. Hippo, if we switch out to the daily, it pumped, it released at 109 mil, it pumped up, and it just has been downhill ever since. But what I am seeing here is that it's found a bottom. That's why it's trading sideways a little bit here, and it's getting ready to come back up. We're seeing a little bit of a recovery. I'm keeping my eyes on this. I'm not completely sold on it yet, but it does seem to have a lot of noise behind it, a lot of people paying attention. And for that reason, it's something to keep your eyes on. If I can get my mouse cursor, we can check out the website or the Twitter. They've got nearly 400,000 followers, brand new account from September 2024. They're getting great impressions on their posts. A lot of people are talking about it, and that's why you don't sleep on things like that. But I do have something that I've been following for a long time when it comes to Sui. However, I'm going to take a break, and we're going to look at chat a little bit. King Adventurous says, is Lofi the music? You mean like lo-fi? I pronounce it Lofi. It could be lo-fi. I could be wrong. You never know. Then HeyX says, truly AAA true projects, AAA, FUD, Blub, Pugwith, true tokens with almost 1 billion potential. I've met the FUD team. I've met the Turbo team. They're great people. Unfortunately, ever since some of these newer meme coins on Sui have started coming out, FUD has really suffered. If we go and we look at Deck Screener for the Sui tokens right here, we'll see that FUD is actually quite far down. It hasn't been, it's not that far down. Oh. But FUD has not been holding very well. Why is it not here? Come on. FUD the pug. Where you at? Yeah, 9.6 mil. They're just trading downwards. A lot of people aren't paying attention to it. There's not a lot of noise behind it. And that's ultimately like, I like the project. I love the team. I've got to get to stop wigging out so that I can actually show you the chart. But just people aren't paying attention right now. Like it had a massive run up and it just lost all steam. I went to the Sui base camp in Paris in 2024 and I got to meet all these guys. They're all amazing. They all have huge ambitions for Sui. They're true Sui builders. And FUD was the first meme coin on Sui. And Turbo was the first DEX on Sui. And FUD was the first meme coin launched on Turbo. So they're all hand in hand. But right now, FUD just ultimately in the bear market, do you really want to buy something called FUD? I think that's their issue. Like nobody wants to buy FUD. We ignore FUD, right? Don't pay attention to the FUD. So yeah. Then we've got another question here. Tell us about WIF. I can give you a little bit of insight on WIF. So WIF was coming down quite a bit. It fell under $1 billion for the first time in many months. And then, yeah, we'll pull it up. Let's pull up WIF. That's definitely not it. Might just go to Coinbase. There we go. They recently were struggling a bit, right? Like this all started and it really popped off because, wow, Dex Screener's super confused. It says that they were at 5 billion market cap. They were not. But they fell under $1 billion for a split second, just like 2 or 3 days ago. And what revived them is rumors of them going on the sphere finally. That's actually what caused their initial pump up over $1 billion in the first place. Ansem was like putting together a fund to fund WIF going on the sphere. It never happened. Nobody cared. And then people started to lose interest because all these other meme coins are popping off. But that is being revived. So if we go to their Twitter, Dog with Hat actually posted that it's not FUD because the sphere was like, we're not working with WIF. We don't even know who they are, blah, blah, blah. And yeah. So WIF came out about, here it is, 6 hours ago, and they were talking about the sphere organizers have ongoing negotiations with various parties, but since WIF is not an actual corporation, they won't talk with them. So WIF is actually working with a company to try and get them put on the sphere and everything like that. If it doesn't actually work out though, and it's not executed, they're going to void the contract and all the contributions and donations that everybody made to try and put WIF on the sphere, and will get returned to the original people. And that's great. So WIF is technically at this point, it's a blue chip. I'm not a WIF holder. I'm not majorly bullish on WIF, but it's going to stay around. So it's a safe hold, I would say. It's not the most profitable hold. I'd probably, at this time, with everything going on in the entire space, I'd probably rather actually hold Doge, but WIF is still good. That's what's going on with WIF. But anyways, back to the Sui memes. AXOL is something that if you were paying attention to Alpha First over the last year, when I've been doing the show there, I actually called AXOL to the Alpha First community under $1 million. It was about $800,000 market cap. It did have a good run up to nearly 80 million market cap. It's been coming down a bit since then. We're at a good point right now for a bounce. I'm definitely keeping my eyes on this. This is actually, if I didn't have any AXOL, this is when I'd be looking to enter. So you know what? One of my favorite things to do is to actually buy tokens on the show with you guys, so you see I'm not full of smoke. And let's do that now. Let's actually buy some AXOL. Well, let's see if it works through the Sui wallet. I'm curious, or through the Phantom wallet. I'm curious. So George says Josh never shared any of this with me. Any of his wins with me. I guess I need to pay attention. You should all be paying attention to Alpha First Twitter, and obviously my Twitter too, because I like to share my super degenerate stuff there. So you gotta pay attention. But you too, George. It appears though, when I pull up the Phantom wallet, it actually will not allow us to do the swap in there because we're gonna try and switch over to Sui, put in the Sui. We want to paste the address in here and it doesn't find it. But it is on Cetus. It's a major token. It's been around for quite a bit now. So it's going to be very simple to trade. We're going to copy the address from Dex Screener like I did, and then we'll paste it into Cetus here. There's AXOL. Again, you don't want to come in here and search for it like that because there could be 20 of them. You don't know which one's the real one. Always pull these up by the contract address. That is your safest way. So we're going to come in and let's see, we've got $40 of Sui right now. So we've got 11 Sui. We're just going to buy seven Sui worth. That's $28 of AXOL. I think it's at a good point of support right now. Hopefully it doesn't fall much lower. And I'm hoping for a really strong bounce here. I like the project a lot. So we're going to dive in here, buy it on the Phantom wallet. Unfortunately, Phantom wallet's not showing up on the screen right now, but I just confirmed that. And the transaction should be done. There we go. And if we go back to our Phantom wallet, we'll see that we have $28 in AXOL right there. Boom. See, it's that easy. Trading on Sui is so fast, so easy. If it was Ethereum, I'd be sitting here like, is it done yet? Are you guys bored? But it's very simple. And AXOL is great. They've got a really strong team. And actually, the team has roots in other major meme coins in the space. So it's not their first time around the block. It's their first project on Sui, but they're doxed, they're known, and they have built some major projects in the space. So that's why I love it. I'm paying a ton of attention to it. We can go to their Twitter, check it out. Unfortunately, Dex Screener doesn't show their holders. Maybe soon we'll get an update where it does. As you can see, they actually follow me too. But they've got 15,000 followers. They joined just in September. I like to see accounts that are not reused from the past because then you know everything should be as organic as it can be anyways. But they've got 102,000 impressions on this one. And good impressions all around the board, really. So it's not bad. I wouldn't sleep on AXOL. Like I said, I found this one really early and I follow it pretty closely and I like it a lot. Other than that though, I'd love to answer some questions if you guys have any, other than the where the hell is George? But yeah, any questions you might have, I'll pull up tokens. I'll answer questions about the process we just went through. Not going to do a ton of Q&A today. We had to get through a large amount of information today. I had to tell you a little bit about myself so you weren't totally confused, but happy to answer everything. Matt says, we're right. You're in the right place at the perfect time. I agree. Sui is just getting started. I know that it's had a crazy pump, especially in the last couple months, but I actually do believe that Sui is the Solana of this cycle, and all the stars are aligning to make that actually seem reality. So I'm paying a ton of attention to it. It's better than Aptos. It's better than Say. It is the new L1 on the block that everybody's paying attention to. They're onboarding RWA projects. They've got a huge focus on DePIN or DeFi. They're actually embracing the meme coin community, and it just all seems prime for the picking. So I love it. HA says, Toshi. Why do you think George was talking about Toshi? I love Toshi. So yeah, Toshi's great. Thoughts on Vinecoin? Vinecoin is not doing good. Neither is Jelly Jelly that just came out a couple days ago. So actually, if you go back to Alpha First, if you go to the channel, my most recent video last week on Alpha First was about the next major trend for everybody to pay attention to. And this is the exact trend I talked about. It was after Trump, but it was before Vine and all of that. And I talked about why the next major trend in meme coins we're going to see is dead companies and like celebrities or major names and things like that launching tokens that are legitimate, but they might not do well. They're all going to be flash in the pan, but that doesn't mean that you can't buy it at $1 million. It runs up to 200 and you're able to make something. Obviously, that's the dream, right? The 200x. But if you go back to that video and you check it out, I'll walk you through all of it as to why I think that's the next major trend. I think we're going to continue to see this trend. That's why we saw Vine. That's why we saw the jelly. Like, this is going to continue to happen. We've got like Mark Cuban talking about launching a token, George talking about launching a token. These big names that you can actually trust that are talking about launching tokens. I don't know if I'd buy Mark Cuban's. Also, you got Dave Portnoy talking about launching a token, the worst crypto investor ever, but I probably wouldn't buy his token. Or Elon Musk's dad talking about launching a token. So we're going to continue to see this trend because Trump made it a reality that it's going to be allowed. So have your notifications on for all these dumb old dead accounts, or like, major web 2 companies and stuff that aren't around anymore, because we can continue to see them come out of the woodwork and launch tokens. Like, who knows, maybe next we see Tom from MySpace launch a token. That'd be wild. But if you come over to Alpha First, like I said, this video right here, major trend, crypto investors, pay attention to this next major trend. I will walk you through all of it and my reasonings. Checking out chat here. Let's see. Turbo Finance, Sui AI coins. Yeah. Fit on Sol. I have seen that. Thank you all for tuning in, though. This is my first show on Cryptos R Us, the first of many. We currently have 1,100 people watching right now. So thank you all for tuning in. Absolutely amazing. I'm very happy to be here with you all, and I hope that we can continue to bring you lots of value and hopefully many gains. My tagline for this show is expect chaos, expect alpha, and most importantly, expect the gains. So you're going to get all of that here with me every single week, without a doubt. Is that a silk robe? What's it look like? Of course it's a silk robe. That's the show's Dirty Degens. And what do? We get comfy, we get flashy, and we talk about some degenerate stuff. But in all reality, this is like a $20 robe, so it's not that flashy. But what else is going on here? There was a question about, there was a comment about forget Sui, can't go wrong with Base being part of Coinbase. You don't want to get me started on Base. I've got a favorite on Base too. I've had a favorite on Base for a long time. I actually found this project extremely early on as well. And they've got one of the best teams and one of the best communities in the space, hands down. I would tie it between Big Red and them any day of the week. So I'll show you them real quick before we get off and leave you with a final project. Why not? Let's see. Bring screen back up. My favorite project on Base is Chuck. Chuck to a buck, baby. Chuck has been around since about March of last year. They had an all-time high of about $28 million market cap. I found him around $1 million. We had tons of people in Alpha First that bought Chuck, and they made loads of money on Chuck. And Chuck is getting ready for the next leg up because Coinbase is starting to embrace the memes on Base, and that is absolutely huge. We finally saw that happen with Toshi. It took Toshi from a $200 million market cap to an $800 million market cap. Toshi almost hit $1 billion off the Coinbase listing. And not only that, we saw Coinbase listing tokens in 24 hours. So Coinbase is finally paying attention to their ecosystem that they wanted to build and that they're supporting it. So this is huge for the tokens on Base. Unfortunately, one of the things that Base has as a fallback is their native token is Ethereum. A lot of people right now are not transacting with Ethereum. So it's kind of like swaying some people away, but we are starting to see volume come back to Base itself, which is great for these meme coins that have been around a while. Now, people do look for, the flash in a pan launches, but I don't like that. Excuse me. But Chuck, if you go into their community, they've been there forever. They've got a diehard community. So it's like very welcoming to new people that find it. And that's why it's setting the stage even better for them. But they've got more than just being a meme coin going on, because they actually also do other things such as charity work. I just partook in one of their lottery draws. They do lotteries where you can buy tickets and by spending Chuck, and then you can win certain amount of Chuck, and then the other portions all get burned. It's great for the project. It's great for the holders, taking tokens out of supply, everything like that. They do fun things like all these videos. They make songs. They do weekly spaces. They do weekly streams. It's a very strong community. Not only that, though, they're going to like animal hospitals or like rescues and things like that. And they're donating money, giving out the big, ridiculous paper checks, right? Like, I hope one day I can get one of those. Maybe not from Chuck, but like in general. That'd be pretty cool. Why not? I want to put it in my basement or something. But Chuck is absolutely awesome. I love the guys over at Chuck, and sleeping on Chuck is like sleeping on yourself. I can't find the dang tab now, though. Where'd it go? There it is. Uh, but they're actually in one of the best positions they've been since launch. They were at $1 million market cap for like a day, and then they, in a matter of a couple weeks, they skyrocketed up to 28 million, and then they slowly came down, and then they've kind of like faded as like Solana, Sui, and all these other chains have like heated up. But now that we're seeing the volume come back into base, I'm really bullish on Chuck again. So I'm paying a lot of attention to it. Absolutely love the project, love the team over there. If you're not aware of Chuck, I strongly suggest you go check out the Telegram, and you won't be disappointed. Um, let's see here. Any other questions? Let's see. Somebody brought up a meme coin on Sui that they want me to check out. We can check that out quick. It was Blub. Blub Blub. Blub Blub's not doing bad. It's at, let me reset this chart though. It's currently at a $26 million market cap. Deck Screener is wigging out tonight. There we go. Blub Blub's currently at a $26 million market cap. If we zoom out though, it does have all-time high. Well, let's not count this wick. Let's just count this. About 85 million. They're coming off a bottom here that basically is in line with their launch. Good to see, not bad. Unfortunately, like I said, Deck Screener won't show us holder information. We'd have to actually go to the Sui Explorer if we wanted to see that. But it is nice to see them kind of rounding that bottom there. We could see like maybe a run up to here before a rejection towards like 51 million market cap. Going to Twitter though, they got 27,000 followers. Got some other influencers that follow them, Rodney, Rico, etc. Good impressions on their posts. Good organic art that's not made in AI. This stuff's definitely not AI made. I like to see that they actually have an artist. The website got Blub. Dirty fish in the waters of the Sui Ocean. One of the things that I like about Sui is that you don't have what you see on like Ethereum or Solana. You don't have like the same memes over and over and over again. They're actually like original memes, and that's one of the reasons why I love Sui. I'm not going to read all these blubs though. I'll let you guys read them. They claim that these are partnerships, and well, I guess they save themselves by saying integrations. One of my pet peeves is calling these things partnerships. Like, you're listed on CETUS, that doesn't make it a partnership. You're just listed there. But they're their tokenomics. They've got the classic 420 trillion 690 billion supply. Why not? Over 64,000 holders. Fantastic. Zero tax. Very simple one pager here. Very clean. Overall, it looks good. I'd have to dive. One of my favorite things to do when I'm looking at new meme coins is I like to dive into the actual community, check out the Telegram, see what they're talking about, see how the temperature is in there. Is everybody happy? And that's how I really judge these projects. Next week, maybe we'll do some of that, check them out, see how they're feeling. But for now, guys, that about wraps me up for tonight. I really appreciate you guys all tuning in, asking questions, hanging out with me, learning about the Sui ecosystem. It's been an absolute blast to be here on Cryptos R Us. Of course, thank you to George, but most importantly, thank you to you guys for hanging out with me and checking things out. So smash up the likes, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next week. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's show. What do you want me to talk about next week? I'm always open to suggestions, but if you don't have any, I'll bring my own content. Don't you worry. Otherwise, though, we'll see you next week. Peace. Come to Alpha First, too, though, on Wednesday for the next stream.